If you're trying to rebuild trust after a betrayal, you're not alone and you're not beyond repair. The hardest part is believing the bridge can hold again. Tonight, we slow down and walk that bridge together, plank by plank, in words designed to be gentle and steady for you. Welcome to Whispered Hearts, English, where we hold space for hope without pretending it's easy. Picture a small kitchen at 10 p.m., the dishwasher humming like a quiet apology, a stack of bills tucked beneath a magnet on the fridge. 2 mugs sit untouched because the conversation weighs more than caffeine can lift. One of you watches the other's hands, waiting to see if they tremble or reach out. You both want a way forward, but the floor between you feels like thin ice in late winter. Trust doesn't return because someone says the right sentence one time. Trust returns when the words match the days. It returns when promises stop being fireworks and start being sunrise, quiet, repeatable, and real. You don't need a miracle. You need a rhythm. But there's something even quieter holding love together. It begins with naming what happened without shrinking it, spinning it, or turning it into a debate. When harm is described clearly, the nervous system hears, "I am not crazy, and this pain is real." That recognition is a door that wasn't open before. Accountability is not a grand gesture. It is accurate language joined to visible change. I lied, not I misspoke. I hid messages, not I was confused. When the harm doer owns the facts without bargaining, the hurt partner feels the ground again. Have you noticed how your body relaxes when the truth is finally plain? This is where a small but powerful curiosity appears. If telling the truth helps so much, why isn't it the whole cure? Because trust is not only about what you say, it is about what you prove. Words are a map. Proof is the miles you actually walk. But there's another layer, and it's the one most couples overlook when stress runs high. Safety must be rebuilt as conditions, not vibes. That might mean predictable check-ins, open calendars, and boundaries you can point to on paper. What practical boundary, if honored daily, would make your home feel safer next week? Transparency, done well, is not surveillance. It is consent-based clarity that reduces guesswork. You agree on what access helps and what access harms, then you stick to it. You decide how to share information in ways that protect dignity on both sides. What would transparency look like that still preserves your humanity? Consistency is the heartbeat of repair. It's a phone call returned when you said you would return it. It's showing up at 6 when you chose 6, not 6:30 with a clever reason. It's a calendar that stops being a surprise and starts being a scaffold. Which small commitment, done daily, would be your first steady drumbeat? But there's something even more practical than conditions and calendars. Trust grows through small wins, repeated until the nervous system files them under normal. A brief check-in before the commute, a photo at lunch because you said you would send one, a simple message that says, "On time, leaving now. See you soon." What tiny win can you guarantee tomorrow morning? Small wins work best when they are measurable and time-bound. "I'll be transparent" is vague. "I'll share my travel plans before I leave and text when I arrive" is solid. Your partner shouldn't have to read tea leaves. They should be able to read your actions. Routines help the nervous system relearn safety. A 5-minute debrief after dinner. A weekly hour for repair conversations that end with one clear agreement. A weekend walk where phones stay in pockets and you focus on listening, not litigating. What ritual could you anchor to a time and place so your relationship can breathe? But there's something even gentler that stitches a torn bond. After harm, the body needs warmth as much as words. It might be a hand offered, not demanded. It might be eye contact that doesn't flinch or rush. It might be the cadence of a voice that says, "We can take this slow." As trust returns in inches, emotional intimacy can come back like spring rain, light at first, then steady. You share feelings, not just timelines. You say what you were afraid of and what you're still afraid of. You let grief have a chair at the table without letting it head the meeting. Where does your fear live in your body right now? And what would compassion offer it? Repair after conflict is the proof that learning has happened. Healthy repair sounds like, "I interrupted you when you were trying to explain, and I see how that shut you down. I'm sorry. Next time I will pause and ask you to finish." Then you do it. When was the last apology you gave that included the next time plan? But there's another turning point many couples miss. The goal is not only to stop the bleeding, it's to build a future that makes a relapse less likely. That means shared vision, not just shared rules. You need a reason to endure the hard work besides not hurting again. Shared vision is the life you are both walking toward, described in more than generalities. It's a kitchen that feels like a safe shelter by autumn, where leaves tap the window and your Friday rituals feel sacred. It's a budget that protects therapy and date nights because healing and connection are line items, not luxuries. What would your life 6 months from now look and feel like if this works? Dreaming as a team gives meaning to the grind. You name the trip you'll take when this season softens. You choose the book you'll read together. You imagine the porch in summer as the sun drops behind the neighborhood trees, where conversation lingers because you enjoy each other again. Which piece of your dream could you schedule this week? But there's something even braver than dreaming. It's learning how to hold flashbacks without letting them steer the car. The hurt partner might be startled by a smell, a location, a date on the calendar. The partner who caused harm can learn to notice the signs and offer co-regulation rather than defensiveness. When triggers hit, what support would you want if your roles were reversed? Support can be as simple as stepping outside for fresh air together when emotions spike. It can be offering a glass of water and a quieter room. It can be saying, "I see this is hitting you. I'm here. We can slow down." What phrase would help you feel safer if you heard it tonight? In the middle of this work, you deserve reminders that you're not doing it alone. Whispered hearts. English is a place for weary hearts to rest and find warm, steady language for hard seasons. If you're listening with your partner nearby or across the hall, know that your effort matters. Belonging lives here too. But there's something even steadier than belonging to a community. It's belonging to your values when pressure rises. You decide that honesty is not a mood, but a policy. You decide that kindness is not a reward, but a baseline. What value needs to be written on your fridge so your home can keep choosing it? Values become visible in micro choices. You lower your voice when you want to raise it. You ask a clarifying question instead of making a quick accusation. You take a 5-minute pause and return when your temper cools, because calm is part of the new contract. Which micro-choice will you practice tomorrow during your busiest hour? But there's another truth you'll need when the week turns long. Setbacks are not proof of failure. They are proof that you are human. A missed check-in, a reactive comment, an old pattern that slips. The key is how quickly you notice, repair, and recommit. When you slip, what's your plan for the first 10 minutes after? Rapid repair keeps you from stacking new injuries on old wounds. You name the slip. You say what you'll do now and what you'll do next time. You ask, how can I make this right today? Then you follow through. Some couples find that structured exercises help reteach the bond how to feel safe. That may include agreeing on daily questions that track feelings and stress before they track conflict. It can be a Sunday night meeting to set expectations and invitations for the week. What simple exercise could you repeat for 4 weeks to test its impact? But there's something even more grounding than exercises. It is naming the cost of betrayal without turning it into a life sentence. Grief will visit, and anger will wake early some days. These emotions are not the enemy. They are the proof that love mattered. In those moments, take care of your bodies, not just your beliefs. Eat actual meals. Step outside and feel the crisp winter air or the heavy summer heat on your cheeks. Walk in a park where the path is clear and the sounds of kids on bikes remind you that life still moves. Which part of your body is asking for attention today? Therapists often report that couples do best when they combine honest language, predictable structure, and warm presence. Research shows that when daily actions line up with stated values, the nervous system learns to expect safety again. Over time, the relationship files new evidence as normal. Have you noticed which of your recent actions felt most aligned with the love you want to live? But there's another door you may need to open with care. Some stories will require professional help, whether for individual healing, couples work, or both. If you choose it, make sure you set goals and timelines so your sessions build momentum, not just venting. What would progress look like by the end of 1 month? Progress often looks less like fireworks and more like weather. The storms still come, but they roll in slower and pass faster. The air after an argument smells like rain, not smoke. The forecast improves because both of you are learning how to read the sky. When memories surge, anchor in the present with sensory reality. Name 5 things in the room. Describe the sound of the fridge, the weight of the blanket, the way the evening light lays across the couch. Anchor, breathe, then decide what action belongs to this hour. What would a calmer body choose right now? But there's something even quieter that changes everything over time. Gratitude for the effort you both are making. Not fake gratitude that ignores pain, but honest thanks for a hard conversation handled with care. You find one thing each day that says, "I see you trying." What effort could you thank your partner for tonight? Gratitude doesn't erase harm. It balances the mental ledger so you're not only tracking danger. It reminds you that progress is happening, even when it feels small. It helps the hurt partner feel less alone, and the partner who caused harm feel less condemned. That balance creates energy to keep going. As you move through weeks and months, create markers of growth. Write a letter to yourselves on the 1st of the month and read it on the last day. Save a note on your phone where you record small wins and moments of closeness. Celebrate a quiet Friday, and when the porch light glows and the house feels safe again. What would be your first marker of growth this week? But there's a final truth that matters as much as the first. Trust is not a destination. It is a practice. It is not something you earn once and store on a shelf. It is something you renew in the way you greet each other in the morning and say goodnight at day's end. On a cool spring afternoon, when the scent of rain is still on the sidewalks, you might notice how your laughter sounds different. It's not as guarded. It lands and stays. The bridge that once shook under your feet now holds, not because you forgot the fall, but because you learned how to walk together again. On a warm summer evening, you may sit on the front steps and watch the neighborhood settle. A dog barks 2 houses down. A screen door claps and then rests. You lean your shoulder against the person who stayed, and for a moment, there is only breath and the hush of enough. What would it mean to give yourselves permission to enjoy that peace when it arrives? If you're still in the hard middle, keep the pace sustainable. You do not have to fix it all by Friday. You do not have to win today to be worthy of tomorrow. You just have to match your words with your days. And if the road feels long, remember, this place is here when you need company in the dark. Whispered hearts. English is your quiet room for practice and patience, where we talk like people who have been through it and still believe in gentleness. You get to heal at a human pace and still be proud of your progress. What would you like to share with others walking this path? As we close, hold on to the simplest truth. You can rebuild trust, not because you can erase the past, but because you can write the next chapter with your actions, your presence, and your care. What's one thing that rebuilds your trust?